Wow, what a lovely day. Yeah, it's pretty nice out here today. Alright everyone, we're getting started soon. Please take your seats. Good afternoon everyone. Welcome to this birthday party that's being hosted for BattleDudes. I'd like to say a few words before we begin with the party. I'd like to start off by wishing BattleDudes a happy birthday. And if we would like to make an offer, and Zekro, I mean Leaf, we would like to speak to you for something important. Hey everyone, welcome back. So BattleDudes is a year old now according to the changelogs, plus or minus depending on what time zone you're in. So happy birthday to BattleDudes. Time to make a little throwback video about the past of BattleDudes. I was playing since right around the 1.0.2 update back in November 12 or 13ish. Ironically, Bash was talking to me about joining, and they asked me if I wanted to play a game where I could clap noobs. I didn't really play until the next day after he talked about it. I played for the first little bit without knowing what I was doing, and then the next day I decided to greed kills a little more, and I managed to get a few 30s. But there wasn't free-for-all back then, or compound, and the record was 54 set by Maven, or their name was Nobody at the time. So a 30 wasn't that bad. Okay, fine, I'll admit, no one really knew what they were doing, including me. And the servers were much easier compared to now if you're watching the recordings. But anyways, Westlands was my favorite map back then out of the three maps, probably because it got voted on the least, and there weren't vehicles, so I didn't have to worry about getting run over all the time. I wonder how many of you still, or like Westlands as much as I did back then. But I mean, there are a lot more maps now, so there's a nice little story I want to share, and that was back a day after I started playing. I joined BattleDudes Discord, and one of the first pros that I met was Widle, or at least they were the first pro that I remember the name to. And I saw them in a game, and they were wearing the skull, and they let me get into their car, so I got in. Since I knew them on Discord, I didn't want them to see me as noob, and I was thinking about how to not look noob, and that was when Widle got out of the car, and then a tank shot the car, and I died. That was really embarrassing. But anyways, back then it felt like a completely different place. Like you could spawn in the voids, the server were pretty or semi-empty quite often, and ammo packs didn't recharge. So like you had two, and then once you use them, they're gone for good. There were a few small updates, such as the one that added quick switching parties. Back then, parties only used codes, and there weren't party links or the ability to join mid-game. But anyways, fast forward a few updates, and then they added free for all. Maven was talking about how people could get like over 100 kills with this, and that was the same update that patched a lot of stuff, such as spawning outside of the safe zone. That update also added fists, which back when it was added, I was like, I want to go full auto on tanks with this. But then I realized that sadly tanks were just too good at running us over, and they have way too much health for fists to handle. A little while later after that, there was the winter update, which that's also the beginning of where I don't really have that many clips. I think I wasn't filming that much because I started lagging. Santa, starting this year, I want to be different from all the other deer. What do you want, cute little deer? I want to spin and sweat and spin. And that was when the deer started getting sweaty, but also the present collecting. The present collecting was super sweaty. Like, the moment that presents would spawn, everyone would just rush for the presents. And I think I might have just stopped caring that much midway through because I ended up getting the Grinch right before the event ended. Well, that was before it got extended, but you know. And it was a lot less sweaty at the end. And later on, a few updates later, they added top KPG and kill streak. And that was when a lot more people started competing for the top spot in that. Or at least most of the people in the Discord community, and Maven absolutely destroyed everyone until they hit themselves. One fun thing that got removed was when you're near the edge of the map, usually the camera is like centered on a player, or at least now the camera is always centered on a player. But back then it wouldn't show the black stuff, so the camera would stop being centered on the player once you got close enough to the edge. And especially when we were fighting someone and the camera would just center and uncenter, it was a pretty fun fight, I'd say. And that was around the start of season 1, which is when kill regen got added and, the compound started getting constructed. It was the beginning of change. Okay, just kidding. But most of you joined at that point, so I hope you enjoyed the little throwback. Happy birthday to BattleDudes, and see y'all next time. Sorry, boss, it didn't go as well as you were hoping. I only managed to steal 1 stack of gold. Those things are heavy. Get stronger.